take questions for Tom.
Let's start with Ashley. We talked earlier in the year, that she would eventually start getting her goals. I guess now's a pretty good time to start figuring things out.
Yeah, we've seen this, from Ashley before. Teams have different, strategies against her, and we've seen her be a slow starter in the non-conference, but we can always count on her in Big 12 games. I think she finds her footing. Now, last year she was kind of start to finish, which is an incredible junior year, but there was never any doubt that when we needed Ash, which we've needed her the last few weeks, that she would be there for us. And, she's a big goal player. She scores a lot of big goals. 7 winners last year out of 15 is an incredible number.
What have the other teams been doing different the last 3 games, or has it just been her making the most of her opportunities?
I think both. I think we've found her better in her positions. Like a point guard, or a shooting guard in basketball, there's certain spots on the floor you want to get them the shot at those spots. Ashley's got the same places. There's places on the field that if we get her the ball, you can just close your eyes. It's going in. And we've kind of forced her into other places, or she's ran into other places, or we haven't supported her. It's collective, it's individual, it's all the things, but just the rhythm is right now. And, she's very accountable. When you give her those chances, she's more than likely going to put it away. And the other day, we had the penalty on Sunday, and I looked down the bench, and we had like 3 out of our top 5 penalty kick takers off the field. And Kylie and Macy are like, Ashley, it's got to be Ashley. I'm like, yeah, of course, it's Ashley. And you could just see the concentration on her face. She was ready to stroke it home.
You think it's, easier for her just because she's a senior at the situation she's been in? Because I know had to have been frustration throughout the year,
Some easier, but it's hard, man. When you're a senior, sometimes you're looking at the end of the road thinking, is this how it's going to be? And no Alex Kerr to stretch the field, we don't have that sprinter up front with her, but her and Z have really clicked. And this version of Taylor Zadrowski has been such a welcome blessing to the squad, because she'd been hurt for a good year and worked her way back into top form. So now the two of them are complementing each other. They're playing really well together. But I think early on it was just an adjustment. We were playing different people with her every week, and now her and Z found their rhythm, and it's been best for Ash.
You had mentioned that nobody wanted to play West Virginia, especially in Morgantown. What stands out about the Mountaineers?
Nobody would want to what?
Play West Virginia at West Virginia. What stands out about West Virginia?
Yeah, I don't think people are like, gosh, I hope we get West Virginia away. But I don't think many teams like coming here either. So we're familiar with that home field kind of advantage. It's not the distance. The weather when we've been there has been cold, predictably, but not miserable. They're just a good team. And they're committed. Their coaching staff is amongst the best in the country. And, there's just no easy games up there. I think the biggest part is just their quality. That's why it's always a challenge.
What's going to be the key matchup for you guys to kind of come home with the victory?
I think there's certain things that we're good at they're going to try to take away. There's certain things they're good at that we'll try to stop, and there'll just be a little bit of a battle, I think, of execution in the final third. It can, I say that, it'll come down to all defending, right? But it feels like a game that each team is going to have their looks, and who's the most efficient, the most sophisticated, the most professional in the offensive end of the field will come away with the 3 points.
On Sunday, Macy mentioned to me that between Faith and the back line, they have a motto, I got you, you got me. Have you heard that before?
I have.
What makes that relationship so strong between Faith and the back line?
Just trust. Faith had to come in and fill the shoes of a 6'1" first-team All-American and didn't even blink. She's like, hey, I may not be 6'1", but I got you guys. And she's made big saves for us. She's brave. She's also a really good, positive communicator. So they immediately felt comfortable with the instruction they were getting from her. And, when we've let people in, she's taken care of it. And when we haven't, she's organized the back line and she's praising them all the time. I just think they've just built a great relationship off the field, and that carried onto the field as well.
Especially with it being Faith's first year here, how was she able to create that relationship so quickly here at Tech?
Well, if you spend any time with Faith, she's relational is her number one descriptor. She cares about people. She's a woman of very strong faith and cares about her conversations, cares about people's feelings, cares about winning, just cares about the team. And it's not a Faith first deal. It's team first, Texas Tech first, athletic. The kid's all in. She's the fastest convert to Red Raider mania of anybody I've ever seen. And she came from a great institution at UCLA, but really found her home here.
Your offense ranked second in the Big 12 in goals with 35. What has made your offense such a big challenge for opponents this season?
Well, I think the variety of goal scorers. Sky's on 4, Peyton's on 7, Ashley's on 5 or 6. Blackburn's got a couple. We're scoring from a lot of places. And so I think Bug's got a couple now, or 3 or 4. So last year you knew it was our front line was doing most of the scoring. This year it's coming from a lot of places, and I think that's hard to prepare for.
You mentioned the weather in West Virginia on Thursday. I think it's going to be around 45 degrees at 7 p.m. What's the biggest challenges to playing and the weather that cold and 50 degrees?
You know, I think if it's raining sideways, I'll have to get back to you. That's a mess, but 45's fine. No problem. Remember, we're Texas tough on heat and on cold.
Anything else, guys?
I know we still have 3 matches left, but is there like any scoreboard watching for you guys with TCU? You guys just going game for game and nobody blinking at this point?
I think it's dangerous to spend too much time looking over at what else is doing, because we have nothing to say about it. You know, we've already played them and we drew. So the match between us and TCU's happened. They're going to try to win out. We're going to try to win out. But the interesting part of it is, well, we definitely have a tougher 3-game slot than they do. But if you look past West Virginia, you're going to get tripped up by Cincinnati. Like, they're legit. And when all that's done, whatever the scores are, you got to come home and play BYU. So we really don't have the luxury of hoping for any help or any sort of, you know, trickery going to happen on our case. It's just got to be go play our best on Thursday night and then see what happens.